Hey, what's up guys? I'm Sal. Thanks for checking out the video. The driver's door on my 2006 Tundra is really difficult to close. It takes a lot more effort than it should, and as you may know, over time these latch mechanisms can wear out, and that's exactly what happened in my case. So it takes a lot more effort to close than it should. I bought a new one from Toyota and we'll be swapping it in today, hoping it fixes my problem. So let's get started. We'll start by taking off the inner door panel. It's just these two poppers on the outside, really easy. There's one cover in the middle, which reveals a screw. Pop that off. There's one cover up here by the A-pillar. Unfortunately, I cracked mine, but I think if you get in there with a good panel popper tool and some patience, you can probably avoid doing that. Next is the handle area. There's that cover in the middle, and then the bezel that goes around the handle. It clips in above and below the lock and the handle itself there. So I found if you use a 90-degree pick tool, you can kind of pry up and pry down on it, and then you can pull out that bezel. You can kind of see those clips there that clip on the top and bottom. From there, you're just releasing the panel from the door, use the panel popper tool, and then you can kind of manhandle it the rest of the way. It just pulls up and off. You can see it's kind of getting stuck on the handle here, but just work it around, lift it up, and then you'll have to disconnect those electrical connectors on the backside. Okay, next we'll start to disassemble kind of the interior of the door here. We got these 3 bolts which hold in the latch assembly. Then I'm just taking off this plastic cover, which allows us access to remove the exterior door handle. There's this other bolt which also holds in the latch assembly, and then this last one up here which just secures the cables running to the interior handle. You can see the exterior door handle is removed with 2 bolts. This right one is super easy to access. The left one is a little bit harder to reach. It's kind of hiding to the left side of that hinge there. You can see the metal arm that comes up from the actuator, and has this plastic connector that I'm pointing to right there. It actually blocks access to the bolt. So you got to remove that plastic connector in order to gain access to undo that left bolt holding in the handle. You can see it's up now. And then, hey, while I got you, don't forget to disconnect the one for the lock as well. Looking in from that access point, you can see the bolt is a lot easier to see, and you can imagine with that plastic cover down, you wouldn't have the clearance in order to get a socket in there and remove that. With both bolts removed though, and the 2 metal arms unclipped, you can push the handle out, and this will give you access to remove that the metal arm the rest of the way. If you just use some pliers, you can pry it out, and it just removes pretty easily actually. At this point, you can look down inside, and we got to disconnect the electrical connector for the door lock actuator. So there's another plastic cover there, and then this is the connector that we're trying to do. So this is me popping off the cover, and then the connector is conveniently placed right there. It's a little hard to get with just your fingernail. I ended up going in there with a pick, and with that, you're able to get the connector off, and the actuator is completely free now. It's just a matter of finagling it out. This part of the process was probably the most difficult out of the whole thing, and you can see it's because that's the window track that runs down in front of the actuator, and that just like locks it in place on the outside. You you have no access to move this actuator. So down at the bottom of the door, there's one more bolt that removes or releases that door the window track, and then you have access to kind of move the actuator around. It's kind of bulky. It's got those metal arms that make it kind of inconvenient to move around. All the cables. When I did this, I don't know what the heck I did. I had it like turned upside down, backwards. I was looking at it, I'm like, how the heck did I get it in this position? But I just kept playing with it, and eventually I was able to sneak it out of the door, and we're on our way. So obviously new one on the right here, and you might be saying, boy, it looks a lot less beefy than the old one. And it's because we got to transfer over the lock actuator motor, this other plastic piece. There's a couple of pieces on here that we got to transfer over. And I think it's just being very deliberate with the little baby screws that we're moving and making sure that if you keep it in the same orientation, that everything ends up where it was on this one on the new one. Looking at the assembly as a whole, you can see it's two main components that we'll have to transfer over to the new one. There's the main shroud and then the actuator motor. The main shroud is held in with these two screws and then just slides off. If you're concerned about the orientation or forgetting something when you transfer it over to the new one, just spend a little bit of extra time looking at how it lines up, how these metal arms go through it, where the screws go. Take some pictures. I have the benefit of recording this video, but you can never have too much information. With that shroud off, you can see everything else that's connected, specifically with regard to the actuator motor there. So it's got two screws holding it in, and then it has that white arm that actually like moves the door latch, and then the cable connects with like this. It's like a little S turn or a Z, however you want to think about it. And it can look a little bit confusing how you would take it off, but just kind of pivot the motor so that it follows the shape of that cable, and then it just comes off. Sorry it got all blurry here, but you'll see what I'm talking about when you go to disconnect it. I also have another sort of clip of it here. You can see the Z there. That just slides into the hole, and then you can see it all connected up here on the new one. Throw the two screws back in, throw the cover on, and this goes exactly with what I was just saying about studying how the cover goes on. This is me kind of perplexed as to why it's not fitting in properly. And right here I realize, oh shoot, I have this metal arm on the wrong side. It's supposed to go through that inner hole, and I have it jammed outside of it, so I couldn't get it all the way in. Disconnected everything, threw it back in, and that's definitely how it's supposed to be looking. One more screw on the back side, and everything was looking good to go. With regard to these cables, I couldn't figure out if they're supposed to be twisted like this or what the heck was going on with them, but as long as you connect them up correctly to the interior door handle, you'll be perfectly fine. Throwing the assembly back into the truck, super straightforward, same process you did taking it out. Just gotta maneuver it around that window track, and for whatever reason for me, it actually went like way smoother going in than it did coming out. I think maybe it was just clearer, like the path that I needed to take after screwing it up on the way out, but it just went pretty simply down around the window track and then up into place, and then I just started throwing the connector on and screws back in. Friendly reminder here, when you put the exterior handle back on, you can install that metal arm, but don't put that plastic cover down yet because you won't be able to access that bolt. So throw it in, then you can throw the bolt on, then you can put the plastic cover down. Get everything bolted up in place. I recommend doing a quick sanity check that everything works before you put the whole interior panel back on. But once you do, then throw it all back together the way it came off, and you're on the home stretch. Wow, works first try, as advertised. I'm really happy with how this went. The door feels a lot tighter now. The handle feels like a pop when you release it, so that's pretty cool. I guess it's kind of as expected with a brand new OEM part from Toyota, but it still feels nice. As far as the process, it actually went a lot smoother than I was expecting. I was bracing for 3+ hours, banging my head against the wall, finishing in the middle of the night, but start to finish, it took me a little under an hour and a half, and that's with filming. So I bet you could do it in an hour if you kind of know exactly what you're going to do, study some YouTube videos beforehand, and just kind of knock it out. I think the hardest part for me was getting the mechanism down around the window track and out of the hole. I ended up just kind of like manhandling it out of there. Putting the new one in, I was able to kind of put it down and around that track. I don't know why in my head that wasn't going to work for getting the old one out, but it did work coming in. Also transferring those plastic cover pieces from the old one to the new one, That went smoother than I was expecting to. It's only 4 screws. I was bracing for a lot more work there, but it's kind of hard to screw that up. So happy with how that went. And then putting it all back together, trying not to forget anything. I just did a similar thing on the Audi. I had to replace the window regulator, and I got the whole thing back together. Me and my wife went for dinner, and she's like, my door isn't working. And I forgot to reconnect the door handle on the inside. So I had to take the whole thing back apart and reconnect that. So don't do that. But yeah, otherwise, pretty happy with how this went. Hopefully it helped you guys. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and have a great rest of your day.